Thanks for listening. I invite you to leave your feedback and share your aha moments as you listen to this podcast. Also, you can access more information or any of the programs, courses, or worksheets that I've mentioned on these episodes on my website at teresaford.life. Or what I would really love is for you to connect with me on Instagram at teresaford.coaching and on Facebook at Coaching with Teresa Ford, so I can give you more interesting insights and further coaching to help you fulfill the measure of your creation. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in yet again to another Guiding You Home podcast episode. This episode is going to be epic. It is different than any other episode I've done because I am making an announcement. I am launching my Amplify Mentorship for Women. This is probably one of the most important works I have ever done to date, not to discount working with so many women of potential, women of desire to do the things they're put here to do. I've worked with them in fitness in the past, but now it's time to cover all states of being: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So this mentorship is different. It's unlike any others because it is a year. I mean, let's face it, we haven't gotten to where we are now overnight. We have learned so much in life. We've had a lot of disappointments. We've had a lot of struggles. We've had a lot of successes, and we've had a lot of moments that we can be proud of ourselves for. But now we're at a place where we are needing spiritual growth. So this mentorship is going to touch on every week for a year. The first week is always going to be on the mental plane. The second week is always going to be on the emotional plane. The third week is always going to be on the spiritual plane. And the fourth week is where it all comes together on the physical plane. Not an exercise workout program. Promise. Your physical body is holding the stress of mental, emotional, and spiritual baggage that we need to drop. We need to just get rid of it, because then your body can relax, de-stress, and function as it's meant to function. Okay? So four areas of focus. And in this mentorship, I am going to deliver curriculum for the first 4 months. It's almost going to be like learning a new language. It's going to be easy to process principles that you've probably never heard before. But I guarantee the application will be mostly obvious. Sometimes it takes a second for it to infuse into your mind and how to apply it, but it will come through. I promise. Just give it time. Give it time. And when we work with principles that are for everybody, but then apply them specifically to you, who you are, and what you're here to do. Like, we need to make this match your purpose. So this mentorship is for a small group of women. Intentional, deliberate, live on purpose women. And when we are getting into this space of identifying who you are and what you want and how we're going to get there, because that's the most important one, you're going to go Mach 10 with your hair on fire. I'm just saying, like, when your spirit leads, because you're no longer thinking from your brain, you're no more trying to figure out what your heart's telling you or what your gut's telling you or what your sacral center is telling you. We're going to live in alignment with your spirit, which knows the way. It has the answers to the test. And I'm going to teach you to tap into your spiritual gifts, your gifts of intuition, of discernment, of knowing your self-truth, like owning it and put doubt away for good. Just be the believer. Be the knower. Your infinite intelligence is who we are tapping into. And you are so magical when you are leaning heavily on what's inside and letting go of everything you're searching for on the outside. So there's so much noise in the world. Like in fitness, That was the number one thing when women would come to me and they're like, well, what do you have to offer that's going to be different than all the other gyms in town? And I would tell them, you want more energy, you want to feel more like yourself than ever before, and you want to shut out the noise of the world so you'll know with clarity the direction you ought to go. And the answer 100% of the time was yes, I want that. Thank you. Please help me do that. So that is what I'm doing in this mentorship. In this mentorship, we just shut out the noise. Like, stop getting up into what everybody else is doing and then trying to change yourself to fit in, because that's not working for you. That's called self-abandonment. So clearly that's not going to work for you. And sometimes when we have groups of women, we chose them at a time for ourselves when we wanted agreement. We needed some validation, some acceptance outside of ourselves because we weren't doing it for ourselves. So if that's the case, and now it's starting to seem like in those groups, it's a little gossipy, a little petty, a little too fluffy, a little less intentional than you were hoping to be at this point, because you're at a growth point in your life where you have got to grow. And you're like, I can't swirl around in the garbage I've been in. I have to grow right now. This mentorship is for you. So I am one of those people that I cannot not grow. When I'm stuck, I'm dying. It's miserable. And then my old trauma brain comes back and it's looking for problems, it's looking for chaos, it's looking for things that I can focus on and work on that have nothing to do with my path, nothing to do with my purpose. And I think that's very typical for women. We have busy brains. That's just the way it is. We can think of where the children are they safe, what groceries we're buying, the to-do list at work, and how to manage the people in our lives. Like, we can do it all at the same time. Unfortunately, it makes it difficult for us to actually focus on taking an awareness of how we're behaving, what's causing us to stress, why are we spending energy on things that deplete us, and shifting it to only make decisions from a place of knowingness, a place where you know 1,000% that you're going in the direction that's best for you. And we stop all this bananas, my coach says bologna and cheese, all of the stuff that makes us feel like we're going bananas. Like, it's like we're second guessing the rightness of our choices. And that doubt, it's just holding us back. That's just a roundabout you're just dying to get out of. So the most important thing here to know is that this mentorship is going to be a supportive and loving container, meaning it will be a safe place to share what's really going on. Let me just share one more idea. I belonged to a mastermind group in fitness years ago, and there came a time when my life was imploding on every level. Like, all the support has fallen away in my life at that point, and I was on my back on the floor looking to God, like, help me, like, what is happening? This is not who I think I'm born to be, but something big is shifting inside of me, and I need help, I need support, I need love, I need acceptance, I need all the things right now from you, God. And then I went to this mastermind retreat where everybody had created something fabulous during the year. They had brought on more employees, opened brick and mortars, created courses, been completely engaged in making more money and writing books and, engaging in public speaking and opening podcasts, like all the things that we would hope to be able to do in our own lives. And I had to stand up during the 30-second highlight reel for that. Everybody's like, hi, my name is, and I'm from, and this is what I created this year, and everybody claps loudly. I had to stand up and say, I've got nothing. Like, I even am taking a break from my family, which, oh my gosh, that was such a heartache for me. But my marriage was ending. I had lost my health. I had about 2 hours of energy a day. I was just recovering from that. And I had to let all my clients go in fitness because I couldn't show up for them. And I had to announce that. I was like, I don't have anything. I'm just on a journey to figure out what I'm supposed to do in this life and who I am to God. And then I sat down. And when we can get that honest in a group, it is a safe container. Like now we can get to the bottom of what we're thinking about, the false beliefs that we're operating by, the traumatic experiences that have shut us down, shut us up, and put us on the back burner because grief and loss have been high. I want to hold space for that because it's never wrong. We have to feel the feelings. We have to move through the emotions. We have to stop climbing out of emotional holes because that's chaotic. And we need to get on that smooth path that is ours, specifically, uniquely ours, because that's what we're here to do. That's where the impact is made. That's where you grow in your spirit. That's where you make a contribution from your spirit. And we need you. You are so unique. There's nobody like you that can do what you're here to do the way you're here to do it. So in this mentorship, oh my goodness, we go deep. We go really deep, but we already know you have an already jam-packed life. You do not need one more busy thing in it. So we've made it super simple for you to participate in this because the coaching sessions are always recorded and there's 2 a week. 2. So that means we deliver the content in the first of the week. And then in the middle of the week, you'll have questions. So we never want you to be without the answers. We will guide you, mentor you, and help you see exactly how to apply the principle that we introduced at the beginning of the week. When we do this, oh man, the massive amount of validation that comes because you're really, I'm just going to tell you, you have the answers to the test. They're already in you. And what you think is happening is right. You're never wrong. For better or for worse, what you think is happening is right. And to be validated in your hunches and your musings and your thought ideas that you probably haven't acted on yet, they're actually right. So getting into some of these principles, let me just give you a short outline of what the mentorship will contain in it. The first month, like I told you, we're going to cover in the first 4 weeks, every week. The order of every month is the first week is mental, the second week is emotional, third week is spiritual, and fourth week is physical. But the first month, the topic is discovering your core needs. So if we throw out everything that's not working for you, all your false beliefs, all your core commitments, the core commitments where I'm going to please, I'm going to earn love, I'm going to do the things I need to do so you'll like me, accept me, trust me, etc. We got to get rid of that initially. And we're going to dive into your actual core needs. And that's the practice for the whole month. But we're going to address those practices on the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical planes. So again, we're not trying to add one more busy thing into your already jam-packed life. We're trying to make this so simple that the only homework is contemplation. You need to take the principle and apply it. And that's going to take practice. And the miracle is that life offers you every possible opportunity to practice. Every opportunity. As soon as you learn a principle, watch out. Life is going to say, here you go. Here's the opportunity to practice. Here's the application for you. And that's your job, just to stay focused, just to stay with it. Okay, here was my intention. This is what I learned in coaching. This is what we're getting mentored about. And I'm going to return a report with something. Either just I'm going to report that I noticed where my brain went first. And I also knew what the new practice was. So I am now aware. Awareness is a baby step, and it's a baby step in the right direction. We have to take those baby steps before we run. So that's why this is a year-long mentorship. You can see that the first 4 months we deliver a curriculum that you're like, wow, I didn't even know what to do with that information. And so the second 4 months is like, oh, I am not the same person now. I do know what to do with that. I'm going to continue practicing because it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. And then the third 4 months, the last part of the mentorship is the mastery. You will never go back to those old habits, old thoughts, old ways of being. And now you are in the process of flipping the trajectory of your heritage, the trajectory of your legacy, the thing that's going to impact the world the most. Your circle of influence is dying to have you show up as your whole healthy self and put yourself out there. So when you put yourself out there, it might be within the walls of your home. When you put yourself out there, it might be in your community and the way you want to serve. And when you put yourself out there, it might be on the global level, whether you want to write a book, build a business, whatever service you want to offer, the world needs you. And if you really think about the impact that you're having, when you start with your own family, they are looking to you to show them a better way of how to troubleshoot life. And when you change, you don't have to say a word to them because they absolutely, unequivocally know something is different in you and they can trust you. And they know that because you can trust you. That it's a game changer, I'm telling you. You will become such a safe space for your family to confide in you and look to you for the best advice ever and to mentor them, because we're mentors much longer to our children than we are mothers. Even if they're grown, they're still watching. So let me jump back in. I digress because this stuff is so exciting to me. All right, month 2, we are going to talk about releasing resistance. When you let go of what you've been trying to control your whole life, everything gets easier. Like now we're able to just turn around, sit down in the boat without paddling upstream. It's just so much easier than going against the current. Instead, we get to sit there and the stream goes downhill anyway, even if we're not paddling, especially if we're not trying to control the boat. We're just going and the journey continues and the landscape goes by and we can just watch ourselves unfold. It's so amazing when you let go mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Everything gets better. Everything gets better. Month 3, we are going to harmonize with life. That is finding balance in all areas of your life. And I don't mean work-life balance. I'm not talking about, trying to be at home as much as you are at work or vice versa. I'm talking about balance mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. When you get balance in each area of your life, that's called prosperity. We tend to think of prosperity as money or abundance. Yes. Like when you get all 4 of you going in the same direction, that you're aligned with your purpose, 1,000% yes. It's money, it's abundance, it's all the things that you want to manifest and bring into your life. It's health, it's wealth, it's all of it. But prosperity starts inside of you and recognizing what's really going on in your brain. How is that holding you back from the things that you've asked for? And to see if we can unclench your cute little fists and open up your hands so you're ready to receive the gifts you're asking for. So that's a magical month. That is an absolutely magical month. And then month 4 is to become the abundant receiver. So first we have to let go, and then we are opening our hands to receive all that we're asking for. God's like, I have oceans. And you're like, that's okay. I just want a little cup of water. He's like, but you can have all of it. And you're like, no. I just want my little scoop of water out of the ocean. And that's actually not helping us, because you need more than a scoop of water. You need more than a little bit of help, a little bit of support. You need all of it. Why not? You got to ask yourself that question. Why not? Why wouldn't I accept all that is there for me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically? Why not? Why wouldn't you? Because if you can't answer that, you need a little more time. But if you're like, yeah, why wouldn't I? That sounds amazing. Believing in who you are on the whole and just grabbing hold of all the lessons life's offering you, because there is a shift that happens in this mentorship. When you have a hope, a wish, a dream out there, there is a deeper seated spiritual need that is going unmet. when you tap into what the spiritual need is for all the things that you want in life, and you are built for more, so you're always going to want more. A lot of us are like, oh, but I should just be happy with my little cup of water. No. I mean, when you were a baby, you were like, hey, look, I'm crawling. I should crawl for the rest of my life. No, you didn't say that. You're like, I think I'll stand up and see what the view is on 2 legs. And then you're like, well, I want to go over there like those guys are doing. And you're watching everybody else walk on 2 legs around you. So you're like, I think I'll do that too. And you just were never satisfied to just crawl around for the rest of your life. You wanted to learn how to get dressed and tie your shoes and do your math and like all the things that you've done your whole life just because I want to know. It's interesting. But as adults, we get a little too smart for our own good and we get all out there and, but how? When you were a child, you didn't ask, how am I going to get up on my hands and freaking knees? How am I going to do that? When everybody else around me apparently has got it mastered, and here I am just rolling over, and that's all I can do. And it's just, well, you weren't upset about it, and you weren't asking how. You were following your intuition. You were following your curiosities, and you were being as creative as you possibly could be. Have you ever seen those little kids that walk around on their hands and feet, and they're crawling on their hands and feet instead of just their knees? Creativity. And we need to do that too. We are the best learners when we become childlike, and when we tap into our creativity and we have fun with it, everything gets better. Even after having traumatic experiences in your life, we got to keep it light, bright, and safe, right? Because I don't know anybody that hasn't had a traumatic experience, even if they've said their entire childhood was perfect. I've discovered that's not true. It's a great perspective, but it's not true. And there's still stuff that we've got to work through the kinks. There's kinks in the wires, and the wires aren't getting the electricity all the way through to the very ends. So there's so much for us to dive into, to tap into our spiritual knowingness, to tap into those deeper needs of the spirit that want to grow and make a contribution. And that's what this mentorship does. It amplifies your spiritual gifts so that contribution you make is everything. Like your spirit is soaring, your energy is high, and you can't believe you haven't lived like this for your entire life. Like it's just the lives that you're changing, the conversations that you have, the knowingness that comes in, the inspiration in a moment. You say things that you're like, wow, I have never said that before, but it was so good. You're kind of like doing the old pat on the back. It's like, that was amazing. It wasn't you, it was who you're becoming, and you're channeling it. It's flowing through you. It's energy from the spirit world coming through your spirit, yours, not mine, yours. You're saying things that you've never said before because those are your gifts. So, if this mentorship sounds interesting to you, if it sounds like something that you've been wanting to be part of, that you need a support group, and I'm telling you, without the support, we're just floundering around. Ask me how I know. I'm like, I'm out here all by myself troubleshooting this. I need someone to bounce it off of. I need someone to give me some perspective. I need somebody to see what I can't see. The hardest person for you to see is yourself. It's much easier to see what everybody else is doing. But in the safe container, it's all about encouragement, love, light, bringing our best selves forward, showing up for one another, sharing what we've learned. Because when you share what you've learned, someone else is getting the benefit of that. And when they share what they've learned, you're going to get the benefit of that. Because the Spirit speaks through our hearts and our minds and our ears. Like some of us see visions, some of us have clairaudience where we hear the answers. Whatever your gifts are, you will hear them, not necessarily because of the words that are spoken, but because of what you are ready to hear and work on and change. And so it's never pushing you farther than what you're ready to do on your own. I should say further. You're not expected to go further or farther than what you're ready to do and those ideas that come to you and the aha moments you have, that is letting you know that's the thing you need to work on that week. So all the details are listed in the Amplify Mentorship application. So you just click on the link and it'll lead you to all of the information. You can read through, see if this is for you. And if it is, click on the I'm interested button and you will discover my calendar. Put yourself on my calendar. We're going to have a talk, you and I, see where you've been, what you've done, what hasn't worked, why it hasn't worked, where you're going, who you are, what you are, why you are, where you are, so we can put a plan together and get you where you need to go. I'm here for you. I can't wait. I have lived all of this that I'm teaching. I've lived it all, used it all, still practice it. It's not perfect. It's just progression. It's just our lives unfolding perfectly on time. And we just spend this magical year together celebrating the evolution of you. So I invite you to join me. This is going to be the best thing you've ever done for yourself. I guarantee it. Thanks for listening. I invite you to leave your feedback and share your aha moments as you listen to this podcast. Also, you can access more information or any of the programs, courses, or worksheets that I've mentioned on these episodes on my website at teresaford.life. Or what I would really love is for you to connect with me on Instagram at teresaford.coaching and on Facebook at Coaching with Teresa Ford, so I can give you more interesting insights and further coaching to help you fulfill the measure of your creation.